Hey guys, Ricky here. Welcome to day 5. We have made it. This has been an incredible experience. I have truly enjoyed connecting with so many of you, going over your feeds and your photos and just kind of sharing my perspective on things, and I've just really enjoyed this process, so thank you for joining me. So today it's all about editing. Editing can be as simple or as involved as you want it to be. If you're just taking pictures with your phone and you just want to use your phone software, the editing software that's already there, go for it. If you want to take it a step up and you want to get Lightroom Mobile or some other editing app, excellent option. If you are shooting with a camera and you want to use editing software on your computer, I personally use Adobe Lightroom and I love it. But there are other options that you can absolutely use. You don't have to get hung up on which one's best. They almost all do the same thing. It's just a matter of how you like the interface, and it's how user friendly it is, and if it has the features you want, and so on and so forth. So it really just depends on what you personally want to get out of it. By learning to edit, you're taking the next step in taking better photos, and that you can now get a second chance and fix maybe what you didn't get right in camera. Whether it's your phone or an actual camera, it's still all the same components. You want to balance out and correct your exposure maybe. You want to adjust your white balance to be warmer or cooler based on your personal preference. You want to then straighten your horizon and fix your composition a little bit, take out anything distracting, and lastly, it helps you develop your style. Out of the way. Here we'll adjust the white balance to start. This selector tool is super helpful. You can customize here if you want very specific color tones, but just for ease, let's use this dropper tool. You always want to pick a target white or a whitish color or gray color to get your color casting right. Now, if your photo has a very orange hue overall and you pick it, it's going to help correct by using the opposite color if you're looking on a color wheel. So if you look at that thumbnail in the top left, you can see how kind of wild the color tone will change to based on your selection, which is why you want to keep it as neutral as possible so you're giving it the most accurate information of what you see with your eye. So warm that up just a tiny bit. Here you can also do the tone automatic adjustments. I don't usually do this, but for the sake of just starting, let's see what it adjusts. This is what it thinks is the accurate exposure, which is why I do not always use the little scale in camera, because to me this is too bright. So I would pull this down and get some of that detail back, especially in the petals. There's a lot of pretty coloring in there. We don't want to lose that by blowing out the highlights or the exposure. And you can see a few other adjustments. Increase the exposure or the contrast a little. It's the clarity. I always do this to give a little clarity, a little sharpness to the photo. I'm also very careful with color, saturation, and vibrance adjustments, but because these are flowers, this isn't a big deal. Move down here to tone curve, and this is how you can really change the look of a photo. Especially you can hit this little box right here, and you can manually adjust the way that your darks and your light and your color ranges are in the photo, but we'll save that for another one. Here I always adjust my lights right here though, because this does give you a little pop to the entire image with your lights and pulling the light out without losing detail. A little bit in a lot of these options goes a long way, because if you see, sometimes that can look, you're like, oh, that looks really good, but are you really looking at, do you want your highlights blown out? Are you looking for more contrast? If that's what you like, don't overdo it. Go back up and adjust your contrast if that's really what stands out to you. You'll hear me say a lot that a little goes a long way, because too much of anything in your photos just really starts to look like kind of child's play. And I'll often go kind of scroll back through and make a few more adjustments and see, what it is that I really like. And here we can see a before and after. That's pretty good for just being some little flower blossoms. And then that's it. Just some basic settings. I really recommend that you
you start with adjusting these and kind of get a system, a consistency down with your editing before you start playing with presets and trying to figure out what your style is, and just really learn how to use this program and the immense amount of things it has to offer to give you the photos that you love. So I hope you found this helpful and inspiring, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.